We're going to talk about diets now and how important it is to make sure the foods that fuel you is the right stuff. We've long heard plant-based diets are good for our health, but they don't mean you have to become a vegetarian. So to discuss this further, let's bring in Dr. Tamara Hunter. Hi there, Tamara.
Hey,
now,
Emmy.
What are the benefits of plants?
Well, this is a really timely topic for me, Emmy. Our family has just adopted a vegetarian diet, but we've been predominantly plant-based for many years. So a plant-based diet is one where you get the majority of your food from the plant kingdom instead of the animal kingdom. So fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds and legumes. And certainly the majority of health bodies around Australia recommend a predominantly health-based diet. In fact, the new Eat for Health guidelines suggest 2/3 of what we consume every day should come from the plant kingdom. And that's because plants contain a wide variety of vitamins and minerals and antioxidants, which we know are important for health. They contain unsaturated fats and proteins and also fibre, which we know now is really important for our gut health. And there's decades of research showing how important it is to be predominantly plant-based to reduce obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease and specific cancers such as colorectal cancer.
Okay, but for all of us, well, others that don't want to cut out meat, you can still probably benefit from plants without having to give away, I don't know, that sort of protein in terms of the meat?
Absolutely. Look, I know a lot of vegetarians and vegans who are really unhealthy. They tend to choose processed plant-based foods which are stripped of nutrition. But there's good evidence to show that even just lowering your meat intake will reduce your chances of heart disease and cancer. So it's red meats and processed red meats predominantly that have the issues with the highest risks for health. That research hasn't really borne out risk with white meats or even fish. The evidence for poor health is not there with those. So, you know, my suggestion would be to just be really being mindful of the amount of meat that you're eating overall, and also perhaps changing to a white meat or even a fish if you're partial to a bit of meat.
Okay, so what are your top 5 tips for people out there to actually achieve a plant-based diet?
Well, I think that it's really important, whether there's meat or no meat, to choose unprocessed foods. So unprocessed plant foods, staying away from the white rice, the white flour, the white pasta is really important. If you're going to try and go meat-free, perhaps just try 1 or 2 meals a day. And if you can do that, progress to maybe 1 or 2 days per week where you're meat-free. If you don't want to avoid meat completely, just reduce the amount that you're consuming, perhaps substituting in things like tofu or chickpeas or legumes. And definitely if you're going plant-based, choose a wide variety of colours. You want the purples, the reds, the greens, the oranges, because that's where the nutritional value is. It's challenging, it's a bit of hard work, but it's certainly worth it.
And what about for those of us with fussy kids?
Well, again, you and I have talked about this before. Again, it's exposing them to different textures, different types, being persistent. They get it eventually, but making sure that you can get a wide variety of colours into them in as many ways as possible. And if you are giving them meats, again, choosing the low-fat, leaner types, minimising the quantities and staying away from those processed red meats.
Okay, good tips. Dr. Tamara Hunter, have a great weekend.
You too.